Hello everybody, my name is Swego, and today we're going to be making a top 5 list of the best killers in Dead by Daylight. Now we're going to judge these killers based on a 0 to 5 system using 3 different subjects. Pressure, which is the ability to slow survivor progress and generally make the survivors work harder for their win. The second is going to be chase potential, starting and stopping chases fast. And number 3, ambushing, which is going to be sneaking up on survivors and generally making it harder for them to know where you are. So without any further ado, let's start with number 5, the Oni. The Oni's power comes from his ability to cause immense amounts of pressure and chase potential very quickly without much that you can really do about it. If the Oni catches you with his power up and you're in a field, you will not escape him. He will get you, especially in the higher ranks, depending on where everyone plays. Now, this killer is very good in any rank, but as you climb, you notice survivors, they know how to loop you, they know where to go, they know what's safe, and the Oni can kind of delete a lot of those safe zones, purely because he doesn't run into walls. You can glide off of them and catch a survivor before they really even know what happened. So for pressure and chase potential, we're going to give the Oni a 4 and a 4. Now the Oni is not very quiet. When he gets his power, you can hear a little noise, and when he uses his power, you hear his roar. And so when he uses his power, people tend to hunker down, hide, get in lockers. So if you're ever really looking to sneak up on someone while using this power, it's probably not going to happen. So we're going to put his ambush at a 2. I would put it a 1, but if you're not paying attention and you use his power and you start running at people, if the person didn't know you used it, you can usually catch up to them very quickly. So that's why he got a 2. All in all, the Oni is a fantastic killer that if used properly, his power can straight up end a game if you know what you're doing. So we're going to give him a grand total score with 2 4s and a 2. 3.5 out of 5. Now, to number 4, the Hillbilly. The Hillbilly takes the number 4 spot on this list for 2 reasons: his speed and his chainsaw. The Hillbilly can travel across most maps in a moment's notice, making aura reading and terror radius perks almost unfair on him. Monitor and abuse, barbecue and chili, so as you can see, that's what I'm using in this video. Combined with his chainsaw that has the capability of insta-downing survivors if you hit them, makes him a very, very strong killer that if you pick up on momentum and you find a survivor, you down them, you see another survivor, you down them, it can become a very hairy situation for the survivors very quickly. But his strength is also his weakness. Maps like Hawkins, Larry's, The Game, don't let him utilize the one thing that really makes him strong, and that is his speed. Some could argue that the insta-down is better, but I think his ability to scale across a map as quickly as possible is really what gives him the fear factor. He is also susceptible to the regular things that every other killer in the game is susceptible to, being looped and being vaulted. If the survivor knows where to go and what is safe, the Hillbilly is just going to have to go through the motions to get them out of there, much like the Macmillan Windows. But he does have some small advantages as well, like the inability to be blocked if you have a swift team chasing after you, unless that blocker has a death wish, and being able to fake his chainsaw at Palance, as he doesn't lack the speed when he activates his chainsaw like the Cannibal does. Just like the Cannibal, when you use your chainsaw, you can hear it from very far away. So if you're looking to sneak up on survivors with the Hillbilly, it's probably not going to happen. All in all, the Hillbilly is a fantastic killer with a great insta-down power and lots of speed, who lacks the ability to sneak up on survivors. We're going to put his pressure at a 5. We're going to put his chase potential at a 4. And we're going to give his ambush a 1. for another grand total of 3.5 out of 5. Up next, at number 3, we have the bunny mama herself, the Huntress. I placed the Huntress on the number 3 spot of this list for 4 reasons. She makes windows and pallets near useless in chase. She can hit you from anywhere she can see you. She can arc her hatchets over things like hills, loops, walls, and she can quick kill despite having no Instadown if you run up on a survivor, hit them with a hatchet, and then use your axe. She does have a few downsides though, related to the fact that she's a 110 movement. Her hatchets do have a wind-up, and she's very susceptible to safe loops. With all things considered, the Huntress is a fantastic killer with great upsides balanced with great downsides, making you really think about every chase and if it's worth it. Sometimes, walking away from a safe loop to go find someone else truly is the better option. I'm going to give her a pressure rating of 3 because she is slow and she can't cover ground nearly as quickly as a lot of the other killers on this list. I'm going to give her a chase potential of 5 because if you know how to aim, you will always catch them eventually. And I'm going to give her an ambush of 3 because her weird terror radius and her lullaby creates an odd atmosphere that if you're not someone who is experienced in the game, will confuse you, and it will be your downfall. For a grand total of 4 out of 5. Now, on to number 2, the Deathslinger. The Deathslinger, being my personal favorite killer in the entirety of the game as of this point, has many upsides to him that has launched him into the number 2 spot on this list. The fact that he can damage you as long as he can hit you with his harpoon gun, has no wind-up to fire his shots, has a low terror radius, excellent zoning, can hit you from seemingly anywhere that has an opening, and is able to reload on the fly, makes him very powerful, gives him a lot of pressure, and gives him a lot of chase potential, without diminishing his capabilities of being able to ambush. The only real downside to this killer is that, much like the Huntress, he is susceptible to safe looping because he is a 110 movement killer. But if you use him the way that he was intended, with perks like Monitor and Abuse, or Furtive Chase, he can truly become a force to be reckoned with. That every time you hear his gun go off, you're worried that it might be you he's about to pull in. All in all, the Deathslinger is a fantastic, very fun, in my opinion, very fair killer who, if played properly, can result in pips and wins almost every time. We're going to give him a pressure rating of 4 because he's slow, but he's dangerous, he's quiet, and has a long range, which means you always have to look out for him. We're going to give him a chase potential of 5, because if you're injured, you're pretty much screwed. And we're going to give him an ambush rating of 4, because having a low terror radius and an extremely long-ranged weapon gives him the sneak-up ability similar to Ghostface without having to worry about getting screwed by grabs, much like you saw earlier in this video. For a grand total of 4.5 out of 5. Now, moving on to the number 1 best killer in Dead by Daylight, in my opinion, of course, the Ghostface. Ghostface being number 1 on this list will probably come as no surprise to many of us, because he's a killer with many upsides and no clear weaknesses. The ability to turn off his terror radius at will, the ability to crouch, and having dark clothing makes him very, very good at sneaking up on survivors, especially on smaller maps such as Hawkins, Larry's, and the game, and being able to sneak through bushes on maps like Yamaoka, while also having an Instadown and being 115% movement makes him a fantastic killer to sneak up on survivors and create loads of pressure. All it takes is to hit someone and walk away, because at that point, they don't know if you're coming for them or if you're finding someone else. That's why we're going to give him a pressure rating of 5, because truly he could be anywhere if you don't know where he is visually. We're going to give him a chase potential of 4, because having no red stain makes it very hard for survivors to track him at loops. The reason he's not getting a 5 is because, as most other killers, he is susceptible to looping. Ambushing, we're going to give him a 5, because obviously. So with 2 5s and a 4, we're going to give our knife-wielding maniac 4.75 out of 5. If you made it this far through the video, I'd like to thank you for watching. This is the first video of its kind coming from my channel. I have a very minimalistic level of editing skills, and this seemed like an easy enough medium to start off with. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments if you agree or disagree with my decisions, or if you just want to call me stupid. Feel free, go right ahead. I also stream over at twitch.tv/Swego if you would like to see more content for Dead by Daylight. That's typically what I play. Have yourselves a wonderful day. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you next time.